Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a full tutorial on how to draft a bustier and avoid this common mistake you make while drafting. We are drafting directly on our fabric we are working with. Watch this video to the end if you want to learn how to draft a bustier easily and avoid this mistake. As you watch, kindly subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share to your friends that also need this knowledge. So guys, let's get into the video. So guys, firstly, we fold your fabric in let it be 15 inches on fold. That is because of allowance. When you're adding allowance, let it be 15 inches minimum on fold, depending on the size you're working with. Then we get your chest line. Your chest line, my chest line is always my shoulder, half shoulder length. It works for me. I don't know if it works for you too. Then after that, your bust point is normally 2 inches after your chest line. Then your under bust, your waists and allowance, 1 inches allowance. So I'll be connecting it together through. So this is the allowance I'm talking about. My waistline is 17, so I'm adding 1 inch allowance to it. So after that, you get your shoulder length, as the shoulder line, half inches of your shoulder. Mine is 9. Then you connect it straight down to your chest line. Then we come down by 1 inch at your shoulder line. Come down by 1 inch. This is your shoulder slope, or yes, shoulder slope. You know our shoulder is not straight, so you come down by 1 inch at your shoulder line. To measure my neck width, I'll be using 2.5 inches because I don't want it to be too wide. Though I'm not using this fabric for the upper part, but I'm going to use it as an illusion while cutting my the neck I'll be using for the upper part of the dress. So I'm using 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch because since I'm using net to cut out the other part, net it stretches. So I'm going to use 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. I don't want it to be too wide and I don't want it to be too low since I'll be using it as a turtleneck. So my shoulder slope, I'll be connecting it to my neckline like this. Then you get your midpoint. This is where the midpoint that you're going to use to draft your armhole. You get it here. So my midpoint here is 4. So then I'll come in by 0.5. This is the front of our dress. You come in by 0.5. Why at the back you don't need to come in by 0.5. Then you come in by 0.5, then connect it to the upper part of your shoulder. Then you can draw your armhole. If you have an armhole curve, you can use armhole curve, but I'm using my free hands to draw my own armhole. Then after that, we get our midpoint for our dart line, that is that line. So I'm using 4 from your chest point from your chest line, down to the waistline. And at the chest line, I'll be coming up by 1 inch. I'll be coming up by 1 inch. Then I'll connect. After connecting down to my chest line, so to draft my darts, I'll be using 1 inch on both sides. This is also going to serve as my bust tightening too. 1 inch on both sides from my waistline to my under busts. From my waistline to my under bust, 1 inch from both sides. You can decide to use 0.75 inch, but I'll be using 1 inch since I'm using it to also tighten my under bust. So for my bust point, I'll be coming down by 0.5 inch to connect. I don't want it to have a sharp edge. Are you getting it at the bust point? So I'm connecting like this. You can use your armor cuff ruler. You can use your armor cuff ruler to connect it, or the other ruler that is curved in shape to connect it. So for my chest tightening, I'll be using 0.5 inch like this. I'll measure 0.5 inch from both sides. Then I'll connect it to my down. I'll connect it straight down to my bust point like this. Now it's time to measure our waist. So you are going to divide your waist by 4 inches. You can use your tape rule like the way I'm going to do it like this to divide. First of all, take it to the actual waist like this. Then from that point, you take it again, you divide it like this to get the division. If you don't want to use your calculator or you don't want to stress your brain, just do it like this. Measure the actual waist measurement divided by 4. Then after that, calculate your the darts, that is the dart you are taking out, add it to it, then now add your normal allowance, the allowance you want to have. I'm going to use 1.5 inch as my allowance. So after doing it for the waist, also do it bust for the bust line. So you don't need to do it for your under bust, just do it, then you connect it together like this. So after connecting it together, then you come in. I don't know the type of neck you want your bust to have. So I love sweetheart neck. So I'll be coming down by 1 inch from my chest line. Depends on how deep you want it to be. You can go in by 2 or 0.5, but I just want it 1 inch. Then you draft your sweetheart neck with your free hand like this, depending on how you want it to be. This is how I'm going to draft mine. Now, this place is very, very important, humid. So, looking at this now, for my chest line, I want to measure what I'm having for my front, that is center front, and my side front. So, from the line for my chest line upward, you can see it is shorter than the side line upward. So, I'm going to add the inches to complete it. Sure you get. Most people make mistake at this place. They just cut it out like that, and at the end of the day, when you are trying to sew, when you are sewing it, it won't match together, so you have to add it to it. Sure you get. So after that, the inches I'm taking away while cutting, I will add it to my armhole so that my armhole will not be shorter. It will not go in and it will expose my arm. So I'm going to add it to my armhole. That inches I'm taking away while cutting, I'm going to add it to my armhole. That is to extend my armhole to the front. Then I'll connect it, having another armhole like this. Just calculate the inches, then you add it to your armhole, then you cut out. I blend it. You see the way I'm blending it? Then you cut it out like this. Cut out so this our sweetheart's neck. So I'm going to reconnect it like this. Is I'm cutting it out separate. So I'm reconnecting it to the adjustment I made at the length. That adjustment that I added to it, I'm going to reconnect it, then cut it out. So I'm cutting out the center front and the side front, sorry. So I'll cut it out like this. So guys, for my center front, I'll be recutting it out by adding the allowance to it. Like this, I'll put it on another fabric, then add my allowance to it and cut it out. So that's all, guys. If you find this video helpful, please kindly subscribe, like, share, and comment for another tutorial you'll be expecting from me. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Love you. Bye.